Okay, hello everybody. So for my new video here, I have a special guest with me here. This would be, if you watched my previous video, I have with me tonight Dropkick. Alright, so I have Dropkick here with me tonight, and he's going to kind of talk to us about how he got into the game, because that was, before me. I don't even really know this story. And then we're just going to kind of talk and see where we go from there. So, with that, I'll leave it to you.
So I was hanging out one night. I was off work, and my friend Fink calls me out of the blue. He's like, "Hey, bro, I just got this game. You gotta come check it out." And I was like, "Oh, what is it?" It's like EverQuest. And I was like, "EverQuest? That's nerd shit." But I was bored. I wasn't doing anything, so I went over to his place, and he was running around on his necromancer. And he summons up this little skeletal dog that's running around killing shit for him. And I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." And I just watched him for a little bit, and he's like, "Well, here, man, try something, make a character." So, being like a kind of an old school cartoon fan and stuff, I thought, "Wow, Barbarian Warrior, that's perfect." And I jumped into that, running around killing rats and crap around the lake. It was like, okay, this is cool. When does level 2 happen?
This story's
And yeah, so I forget what level. I eventually level up to like level 5 or something. I have to go kill a frost blood warden. I forget. It's been a long time. And I'm like, okay, where is this thing? And he's like, oh, it's outside of the town. I'm like, okay. So I run out this tunnel, and here's this like huge, expansive world, and I just see other people running around, slaughtering stuff, and I'm like, is this the game? Like, is there no levels? Like, how does this work? And he's like, dude, there's a whole world. And it really just kind of blew my mind. It got me hooked. The gameplay, at first I was like, it's kind of slow-paced, not my normal thing, but I don't know, the more I played it, the more hooked I got. And I think it was just being involved in a big community kind of egged it on. So I got hooked.
I would say for me that community was definitely one of the big factors in how cool EQOA was. I don't think I haven't played a lot of MMOs, but in the ones that I've played, community has played it's a huge factor.
Oh yeah,
for me. Especially like with us, like I've said in my other video, we started the guild my first day, so community instantly became a big thing to me.
Yeah, definitely.
Because there's people that I still talk to today that we met way back. When we first started the Boomstick Crawlers.
I mean, okay, so obviously EverQuest came first on the PC. I was never a PC guy. I mean, it was always, for me, it was like, hey, what's on the console? That's my thing. And so to have like this online game where I'm sitting with a controller in my hand, just playing a game like I would any other game, but I'm online with other people, I mean, that was awesome. That was ahead of its time, definitely.
For a console, yeah, that was,
And it just, the sheer size of that game even blew my mind. Like recently, tried playing Elder Scrolls Online. Okay, kind of a cool game. Here's the thing, though. You're in a zone. You want to go to the next zone. Oh, loading screen.
Yeah, loading screen. Freeze.
I was like,
yeah, that was a big thing when I first started running. And this is part of the story I told in another video. Also, I first started running out of Hollis one day. You weren't on that day. I think I was just running around. And I just started running. And I just kept, I'm going to see how far I can go. And the world just kept going. And just kept going. And there was no load screen ever until I died. And that was definitely one of the amazing things, is just how big the world was. How many people at the time were running around in it. Like, you could be in the middle of just nowhere zone. And here comes a group of people running by. I don't know. The scope of it. And even the variety of it. Granted, there's limited variety because of the capabilities of the PlayStation 2,
right?
But just the you're running, all of a sudden you're in the you're running in by Hollis and you're in the snow, and then you keep running and all of a sudden there's trees and grass everywhere, and then you run a little bit farther and there's just like swamp.
Yeah, I remember running down to Mordahim like on accident, I think, just seeing how big the world was.
Not in frame.
No.
There we go.
And that was kind of mind-blowing. It was like, holy crap, I found where the dwarves live. Oh, this is amazing.
Right.
And I don't know, man. It's just, I can't really put my finger on it. The game had something that most modern MMOs do not have.
Well, you remember? I'm sure you remember this. We were both like around level 15ish, and we were finally like running around, and we decided we were going to run to where the elves live.
Yes, I do remember that.
And we were
fresh. I think we were fresh off a Lord of the Rings kick, is what that was about.
I have no idea what it was, but we were running, and we didn't really know where we were going, but we got to like the edge of the Thedruk tunnel, and we're just sitting there.
Yep.
Like I felt like we were hiding in the bushes, sitting on the side of the
we
tunnel,
were.
and we're just like watching these orcs walk back and forth, and like they're only like they maybe have been like level 18 or 20 or something, but we're level 15, so they would have been red to us, and like we would have died instantly had we run in there. Although we were both running around with warriors, if we had just had an invis, we could have run straight through the whole thing.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that at the time. But I remember like finally somebody came. I don't remember. He was like level 20 or something, and he came running through, and we were like, "Hey, dude, can you like take us through the tunnel?" And so finally, like this dude walked through, and he killed everything on our way. And then we got to the other side, and I remember just being so excited to get through that tunnel. And then I remember like running and like seeing Facepire in the distance just kind of like load up, you know, as you get closer the way it does in the game. And we were just like, I just remember being so stoked.
Oh yeah.
We were like, oh my god, we're in Facepire.
It was such a nerd moment. I think I was in my living room cheering. Because I was like, oh my god, this is where the elves are. Oh my god. Just freaked out.
Thing is, if I wanted to see that, I could have just started an elf. But that like never occurred to me. Like I was just like, I have to run there on my barbarian. And that was ridiculous. And then from there, I think that one kid ran us all the way to Freeport. Was it Alex K? Was that him?
Oh my goodness!
And I think he ran us from. And it was the first time I saw Freeport, and I thought Freeport was just huge and amazing because there were so many people there.
Yeah, I think he took us over to Click, I think. And then,
probably, and then down the coast.
Yep. Yeah.
So we probably picked up Bottle by Water on the way, and then. But yeah, that was. I mean, just exploring new parts of the world was just so fun.
Yeah, definitely.
That was a huge thing for me going from like normal RPGs. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like any game really where there's like loading and stuff and just all of a sudden...
Right, yeah. It's like, here's level 1. Okay, you're done with level 1. Congratulations, Here's your stats. Now let's start level 2. I mean, this was like you're not playing a game, you're living like Second Life, as nerdy as that sounds. But...
Yeah. Second Life, that's a game. But...
yeah. I'm going to make some money on that one.
Yeah. That was so cool to me. And it was also, I mean, and that I think even comes into the factor of like community. Because, like I said, when we were running around and we got to the edge of this tunnel and we had to stop there. Now, if someone else hadn't run by that was kind enough to help us through, we would have been stuck.
Oh, yeah.
So there's always an aspect of just like running into random cool people. You weren't playing anymore, and this was on my Castle Lightwolf days, and I was at a point where I was like killing Skahir like every day. I had him timed out so that I could log on and he would be spawned. So one day I logged in, and there was just another dude just sitting over there like 3-boxing, just sitting in the one spot, and we got to talking to him because and then Ska spawns while we're standing there, and so we both killed him, and just neither of us really needed the loot. We were just killing him to kill him. So we basically just split up whatever. We didn't really care who got what, but we started talking, and then I just kept talking to him. So he actually added him to my friends list, and even on the last day, the last day that servers were open, I actually spent my last couple of hours with him. We did a 2-man on Kratos. He was on his druid. I can't remember for the life of me the name of his druid. So he was on his druid, and I was on my bard, and it took us literally like 2 hours to kill Kratos. But I'd been sitting on all the stuff to spawn Kratos for like months. So I was like, let's just go do this. Let's go kill this thing just so I can say we did it. And I was reminded of the time earlier when we tried to do it we did a 4-man, and I thought that was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
But this was earlier on in the life of the game. It was me and you and Werther and was it the X, yeah, the Druid. Let's just say the Druid. But we did a 4-man, and I thought that was amazing. And that was a cool thing because it was all guildies too.
Yeah.
So it was like a pseudo raid.
Yeah, because I mean, the main reason Kratos was still up that day was because like one of the bigger raid guilds was like they just wiped.
they left it. Yeah, we just came by and stole it essentially. I forgot we didn't even spawn that.
No, he was just chilling. We were like, he's up. Nobody's got this.
It took forever. I remember
did.
We ended up having a druid tank.
Yeah, we had a druid tanking in tree form. I ended up logging on a friend's necro.
I had my necromancer, and then we had a ranger.
Yeah.
That is a weird group. Well, I remember specifically a time when we did like a guild run in Blackborough.
Yeah, we did that a lot. We did kind of like guild raids in places where they weren't necessarily raids, but they should have been. I mean,
yeah, they were dungeony, but they were low level because we were never like a high level raiding guild.
No, but the nice thing about an area like that is you had the chance to get everybody together and say, hey, here's the objective, let's go, and you get to see how people work with each other. It was a nice gauge to see how things were probably going to go once you got to
higher. Yeah, so that was cool. I think at the time I was only around level 40, 45ish on my warrior, something like that. So it was like above the level for the zone, which was I don't even remember what the level of stuff was in there, in the 20s, mid 20s or something.
Yeah, so, I think I got closer to 30, like closer to the bottom you get, or at the very bottom.
But that was fun. I always loved because it was like just a fun guild activity. It was nice in there because there was lots of rare spawns with semi-decent drops for the level. What was the plate armor? The Packmaster armor.
Yeah, Packmaster stuff.
It wasn't plate, it was banded, I guess. But the Packmaster armor in there, which was, by the time we started playing, or I started playing, I'm not sure about you, but crafting was already in the game, so Packmaster stuff was kind of already passé. Yeah. It wasn't really the best stuff you could get, but I guess before crafting it was like really good stuff. But I always loved going in there just to, because there were so many name spawns. I can think of like probably 10 locations in the entire place where there was like a named that would drop loot.
Yeah, there was quite a few in there.
And that was, another thing about it was that I liked how not only did most named things, you knew that they were going to drop you some kind of rare, but there was always the chance on random mobs of getting a pretty excellent item for the level.
Usually.
Which reminds me, like, I remember running with you past Sarek's Tower. Remember, there's that little goblin camp, and we were just running through, and I random pulled, just running by on accident, just aggro, basically, pulled these two goblins just at this little camp, and we killed them both. I killed one of them, and I pulled two, and you pulled one of them off me and killed that one. And the one that you killed dropped nothing.
Yeah, yeah, garbage.
you got garbage loot, like a stack of like beans or something, like a can of beans. And I got a ultra rare level 21 axe called the Great Axe of Tree Slaughter.
Yeah.
Which had really, really good stats for the level. I think it was level 21. I think I must have used it until level 30 until I got my big two-handed sword for my 30 path quest.
Yeah.
Sweet item. I loved it. I think I only saw one other one on the server ever, and I bought it off auction. So I had two of them.
Yeah, I went back out and tried to farm one. I went right back to that same spot. I was like, this has got to be where it drops, man. That's where you got his. And then come to find out later on that it's a world drop on any mob that just happens to be between this level.
Well, it had to be. I think it was a
forested area.
Area. So that was pretty cool. Another drop.
I must have had about 10 Grimblades. I just kept hitting the jackpot on that. Even on ults, I would be playing an ult or something, and one would drop, and the tank would be like, I don't need it, I already got it. And I'm like, all right, I'll just roll on it. I don't win it. Like, hell, I got 5 of these things then.
I don't think I ever had a Grimblade drop. I remember I once had it was at Bloodfoot Bandits. What was the axe that dropped there?
Yeah.
Not the Axe of Kelzar. That dropped off a guy down to the bottom. It was the random loot that dropped, like Warbone. It was the Warbone Great Axe that was like an ultra rare drop for just that camp. And I remember one time that had dropped. I'm like vaguely recalling this, like after the fact.
Right.
That I feel like before I knew what it was, one had dropped, and I was tanking. But I was like, I just let it go. I was like, I don't need another weapon. I got a good weapon right now. And later on, I was like, it was like one of the ultra rare drops for this area, and I never got one.
I can relate to that. one of the first few times tanking a Phantoms, we go up to, what the hell is that dude's name? Dude at the top.
Himmler?
Himmler. I kept thinking Ermac, and I'm like,
Ermac.
that's like Indiana Jones or some shit.
No, Ermac, that's Mortal Kombat.
Oh, yeah, there we go. So we're up there, just grinding away, and all of a sudden this rope drops, and this dude's like, oh, grats, man. And I'm like, I'm not a caster. Get that shit away from me. Wait, what the hell am I going to do with that? Never heard of the thing. Had no idea that all robes even existed. And so we only had the one melee damage deal. I think it was a rogue or a monk, one of the two, and he was just stoked. Like, he was like, hell yeah, man, I'll take it. And I'm like, all right, cool. I don't want it. It's done. And come to find out, after the fact, of course, here's this much sought after item. Back then, to me, like, I was still playing a game. MMOs were new to me. It wasn't like, oh, that's more stats I can pack on. It didn't even occur to me. It was just, I don't wear robes. I wear plate armor. What the hell am I going to do in a bathrobe? Not tank. Right. So, that stung a little bit once I realized what had happened.
For anybody listening, he's talking about the Spirit Maker's robe.
Yes, the Spirit Maker robe.
That he foolishly let go. And I remember we tried to farm one for a long time. We tried to farm it, never got it, and they took it out of the loot table.
Yep.
So, and they were rare to begin with because we played on Proud Pine.
Right.
So we didn't have any other robes. That's the only one that we had that was tank equipable until the call robes came in.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of some of the other sweet pieces of loot I used to get that I liked. What was it? I catch your short swords.
You catch your short sword.
Those things were great.
I remember.
And everybody was like, "You're a tank. You don't need those. Those are damage deal weapons." Like, if I'm doing more damage plus taunting, hello, doing my job better.
I remember when you stopped using them and you kind of passed them on to me, and I used them, and people would always tell you that you can't. Why are you using that? You're a tank.
I was also told I couldn't tank. What was the dragon up on Plains Sky?
Anar. Well,
you can't tank that in the World Breaker. Yes, bitch, I can. Watch, because I did it.
World Breaker was another, and it's weird because like the equivalent of a World Breaker for like a Shadow Knight. What was that one? It was the not Traitorous breastplate. No, but they had like an equivalent breastplate, but it was so much better than the Warrior.
Oh yeah,
the Warriors.
Paladins had one too. That was really good.
The BPOA breastplate of the Anointed. Yeah. But yeah, like the World Breaker, it was kind of crappy when it came down. It was novel because it was. Well, it was kind of, but I mean, in retrospect, it gave you 25 health for every hit. So
funny story about that. I was trying to do one of my 60 epic, part of the 60 epic quest. Couldn't get anybody from the guild to help me, which is unfortunate because I used to spend a lot of my time helping them. Well, I had one person volunteer. She was a healer, and we had to kill some stuff out in front of Guck, in front of the Froglock place.
I did that so much.
And she was having a hard time healing me. I was like, I got an idea. I ran around picking up every like low level, like 1, 2, 3, whatever they were in the area. I came back with a train just beating on me, healing me for about 500 health a second. That breastplate rocked.
Yeah,
I don't care how shitty you think it was.
I guess in the right situation it was.
Yeah.
Like, but theoretically, if you're tanking a dragon, and he's hitting you for 500, the 25 return isn't that much.
No, but that's what I had.
Yeah, it was nice. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I loved that thing.
It was cool. It just wished.
I also had
Warriors
guard at the time too, though, and that was like a killer MCA, man. Like you just
were defenders, yeah.
So there were totems that dropped down with that catching just short shot too, and they had like pot on them.
It wasn't it wasn't staff. It wasn't staff with the Jade Forest, was it? That wasn't it. It was.
But Jade Totems, maybe?
Jade Totems. It was Jade something.
I'm thinking Jade Totems.
But it was one they removed from the loot table also, I believe.
Yeah, I loaned this to somebody and I didn't get them back. You know who you are. I don't.
Sorry to say. you know who you are. Gosh, what else? What other things did I got? A really random loot. I think I got it at Mossmouth, which was the Goblin camp, kind of by around like north, I think, of High Pass. They were like level 30-ish. I got a leaf-etched wand, which was, I mean, it's a cool-looking graphic. It was like a red wand with like a glowy
I kind of remember that
thing at the top. But all it had on it, the only stat I think was like 21 power over time. Yeah. That was the only thing it had, but it looked cool. It was a low level with a cool graphic. So I just thought it was awesome. I kept it on my Necromancer.
Yeah, it was kind of like the crystalline orb. Great. I mean, the thing looked awesome. I don't remember the stats being particularly phenomenal. I mean, definitely not for tanks, but
no, they weren't. It was like intelligence and something.
But it was a cool looking shield.
It was all.
I've never seen anything like that in a game before. You had this weird glowing thing just radiating off your arm.
And it was super. It was like level 20 or 21 or something.
Yeah,
so it was really cool.
Yeah,
and I farmed
early 20s.
I farmed the crap out of that.
I think everybody did.
No, it was hard to get a camp there every once in a while. But I farmed. I must have probably in my entire game time I got like 5 of them. I made my first million tunar by selling those on auction.
Yeah.
And I thought I was rich.
And I guarantee you the first one of those I got,
I gave it away.
I was like, intellect, vendor.
Right.
5 copper, please. Thanks. Tunar, whatever. I know.
Copper. WoW, we have a WoW player.
Man. Not my favorite game by a long shot, but it's still there. Nobody shut it down on the fans, so I guess I'll play it for now.
Oh, what were the little, I had 2 of them on my Necromancer because I thought they were awesome. It was like a halfling on a stick. I don't remember what they were, but it dropped there. I had 2 of them, and I thought they were amazing. I thought it just looked cool walking around with 2.
Yeah, they were pretty cool looking. I mean, that was probably the most metal looking item in the game.
Yeah, see, a lot of the other stuff, like I thought it looked cooler than the 49 Necromancer weapon, which it was like the Rod of Consuming Hatred. It was kind of cool because it had like that smoke coming off of it, the green fog or whatever that came off of it. It was just like a head with like a skull with horns. But I thought the halfling on a stick thing looked a lot cooler.
Yeah, because he had like the ribs and stuff on it too.
Right, exactly. It was like you were just holding onto his spine.
A couple items that I loved. I loved Ixil's Warblade. I loved the graphic for that. And there were some like generic blades that had kind of a similar graphic, but this one, like, I don't know, it was just a little bit different.
Well, it was the same as the bone.
And the bone cleaver. Yeah,
bone cleaver.
That was.
But it was. I wish I could have had. I wish that Ixil's Warblade was a single hand. That would have been amazing.
It would have.
But because I think those are the only 2 weapons that I know of that use that graphic. Ixil's Warblade and the bone cleaver.
Yeah, and I loved that graphic, man. I think that was one of the cooler looking weapons in the game.
Yeah, it was very simple.
Outside of epics.
It wasn't flashy. But it was cool looking.
Yeah.
Because it was rare.
Yeah, it looked mean.
I remember there was another sword that you had gotten. You got it at the TAC Frostbiter camp. It was called Ice.
Oh, Ice. Yeah.
It was
I had 2 of those.
It was a cool, plain-looking sword, but it was a different graphic than any other sword I'd seen. It had just a little bit of detailing on it.
Yeah.
Nothing like super fancy, but I always thought it was a cool sword.
Yeah, I think I had 2 of those. I know for sure I had 1. But I kept thinking I got another one, and I put it on an alt or something that I didn't play.
See, I guess another one that was like an ultra rare thing that I got was it used to drop at DFC. It was the Champion's Harpoon. All it was.
Yeah, I kind of remember that.
I don't know why everyone wanted one. I'm not sure why. I got it by chance. It was just a tank. It was a giant harpoon.
Yeah.
It was just a little bit different looking than normal spears and stuff, but I remember it being a pretty sought after item. And I had one, and people were always offering to buy it from me. And I was like, no, I'm gonna keep this. This is gonna go in my hoard.
Yeah.
My hoard of.
I think that was a cool thing too. It was like every time I got something rare like that or off the wall, I was like, I wanted to keep it. And people were like, dude, I'll buy that. And I'm like, I don't know, stop soon. Yeah, I'm broke. I got like no tuner, but whatever. You know, like.
One that I always wanted and never got was a Sand Mauler.
Yeah, I remember the name. I can't picture the.
It was kind of like from Final Fantasy. Like
Cloud's, that thing.
I think is that Cloud, his big sword.
Yeah,
it looked like that. And that's the only one that I saw that used that graphic that I recall.
Yeah, that thing was cool.
I'm not sure why some had so few. Like
for the sake of making them rare, I'm sure. I mean,
I guess, but it just seems like you could make more than one, especially since I think they removed that from the loot table also. So it seems like you could make, if you're going to take one out, put one back in, because I don't remember another sword that had that. I mean, and that was one of the things, because the game didn't have a lot of graphics. It didn't have a lot of different variants. I mean, especially when it came to armor, because all it was changing the skin on your character.
Yeah.
So, the only difference between, most plate armor was the color.
Yep.
So everything looked the same, but it was the color that you could tell what was what, who was wearing what, just by the color. Which I always thought was cool. So when you could find something that was really low level for like an alt that looked like...
Yeah, I always... Man, the lower level armor, like the banded armor, I hated that stuff.
Oh, the look of it was horrible.
It was
so ugly.
And the 17 quest for the armor was the color. It was
the
blue.
The pajamas.
Yeah, it looked like you were running around in a onesie. It needed a butt flap on the back so you could stop and drop trout.
No, I liked the. I don't. You're right about the bandit armor.
Yeah, it was
but I had another one that I got at DSC was it was called the Battle Worn Cuirass. It was a blue plate armor. It was a breastplate. There was a whole set, but I only got the breastplate.
Well, right. Once you got to...
And it looked. I loved it in the blue.
Yeah. Past a certain level, I want to say it was like 28. Like, when you could first get a Heart's Blood set. And it was, I think that was about the same level for Ankek set. You had... There was just more detail in the armor. It looked like plate armor. I mean, graphics weren't great in the game, obviously, but there was little minute details that made it look like you were wearing armor and not a onesie. And that just made a world of difference. I mean, you could have it in the same color as, that same dark blue, and it looks awesome. Whereas with the bandit armor, it was...
That's why I farmed Ankek's Tets a lot.
I did too.
A, because they dropped the Ankek's Tet armor, which I loved. It was like that sandy brown plate armor. But also because there was a chance of them dropping adorned armor, which was like the same level, it was like 26 to 28, but it was black, like level 48, like crafted armor. And I loved that stuff because you could if you were only like level 26 and you were walking around in black plate armor, people would always come up to you and ask, dude, what are you wearing? What is that? That's so cool. And they'd wonder, where'd you get it? And it was kind of like, oh, it's my secret. But I hated it when people did that to me.
Man,
I'm not going to tell you where I got that. But, I don't know. That kind of stuff, I lived kind of for... We never got a whole lot into raiding. I did towards the end. I was more like support. I just came in and someone said, oh, okay, and they would use Call of the Hero to bring me in.
Yeah. I mean, we were getting there for a while, but then, just I don't know.
But, so my big thing was collecting cool gear. Especially once I started playing a bard, and they could only wear a few sets of plate armor because the plate armor just looked the coolest to me.
Yeah.
So, I collected a full set of rubicite, and I found like a bunch of silver plate armor for him. I never did get gloves. I got a full set of like silver plate armor, so I could look like a guard, like in Freeport. I look exactly like that. But I look like a tank, and I love that on my bard, running around looking like a tank.
Yeah. Like
tricking people. I had a big tower shield, and I got like one of those like Grimblade styled swords. And so I'm just walking around, and then people would con me, and they would stop. I would always watch people run by me, and then run back and start, and just looking at me.
Yep. I think that was definitely one of the things that EQOA did right. There wasn't, like WoW, for example, quest after quest after quest after quest after quest. The first time I played, I thought, wow, this is really cool. I got quests nonstop. Man, this is awesome. And within about an hour, I was like, this is dumb. I don't have any freedom. I feel obligated to continue down this path. Yeah. Quest. And the thing with EQOA is, do what you want. You want a group? Okay, go get a group. You want solo? Solo. You want to explore? Explore. You want to go after rare items? Go after rare items. It was more... You just had more freedom. It was more play your own way, where you can't really get away with that with a lot of MMOs. It's like, if you don't do the quests, well, then you're going to take forever to level up. And
right. That's the thing, yeah, because this game was... you get a lot of XP in one shot for doing quests.
Right.
But the grind was really how you got levels.
Yeah. And then another thing that they did right, you had a lot more customization with your character. I mean, between putting points in whichever stat that you wanted.
Oh, that's a big thing.
And class mastery, I mean, that was ingenious.
It's definitely something that's lost on newer games, I think.
Oh, totally.
Like, they kind of dumb things down, and like you level up, and it, based on your class, it automatically puts so many points into stamina, so many points into so many hit points you get. I loved building off type.
Yeah,
on characters, and like I want to make a berserker, barbarian warrior and do some damage.
I was apparently trying to make a barbarian healer warrior. My first warrior, I stacked charisma.
Yes, so did I.
Because I thought, well, these people in this town don't like me, but if I'm more charismatic,
and that's a big.
Like me. And no, that's not the case.
And that's that was a thing with EQA. It was almost a downside, but kind of like there was a steep learning curve to figuring out how to build a character, and if you didn't know coming in,
because that first warrior got to 38 or 40, I think.
Mine went to 32.
And I was like, I can't tank. I'm starting over, and that was painful. But luckily some friends, you know, they were like, hey, we'll power level you. And I'm like, only to where I was, because I'm going to earn the rest. And it worked out pretty good, I guess.
One thing I did like about when I put a little bit of charisma onto my character was that it opened up a new CM, which was first aid. And so I bought this first aid CM, and it allowed me to buy bandages from a vendor.
I remember that.
And I could heal myself. I had like a little tiny heal, so it would like save me in the nick of time or something, you know?
Yep.
When we were off fighting skeletons, and I would pull like 3 instead of 1.
Yep.
So that was kind of cool. I liked, you know, if I had wanted to, I could have put more into charisma and got myself probably a pretty decent heal.
Yeah.
It was like a patch heal, so it was like a one-time like bang.
Yeah.
But I could have done that. Maybe if the game ever got going again, I would do that. If we put him back in, I'm gonna take a warrior, a barbarian warrior, and I'm gonna give him like
make him a combat medic.
Combat medic. He's gonna have like 600 charisma. His wisdom will be 0, so I won't have to worry about guard.
Named Tourniquet.
Yep. You know, I love tanking, but I got sick of it. I kind of like. I got to level 54. I got to level 54 on my warrior, and it just became tedious. I enjoyed it like when I was doing it, but then the thought of going back to doing it after playing my necromancer to 60 was so like, oh, it's like such a drag. I wanted so badly to get my warrior to 60, but just never did.
Yeah.
I never got a tank to 60.
I was stoked when I got a dropkick to 60, and then, you know, I got his master class at 55. Wasn't passing that up. Second I could get it, bam, defender, which was awesome. And then the next thing I went for immediately was I started saving up those CMs for guard, and that was definitely well worth it. I mean, that's a good time tanking with that.
Yeah, see, that was my first 60 was my necromancer, and I remember being like so happy when I finally got 60. Because I mean, I've been playing the game I think for like 2 years before I finally got a 60.
Yeah. Yeah, it was slow going. The game was time consuming, and sometimes, you know, it was painful. Like, it was just like, God, I kind of don't even want to do this today. But then you think about it, and you're like, man, I gotta get there. And
that's why I became an altaholic. I had a lot of characters get to level 20.
I started hopping around on alts, but I don't know, man.
You were more focused than I ever was.
I always went back to tanking, man. That was the thing I loved. I remember the first time when I learned to tank, I think I was level 7. Two other level 8s. I want to say it was a healer, like a shaman and a rogue. Picked me up in Hollis, and they're like, "Hey, come with us." And I'm like, "All right." I had no idea what was about to happen. I mean, for all I knew, these guys are gonna like slit my throat and rape me and leave me in a closet somewhere. Except that thing doesn't happen. We run out to this tower. It was kind of like west of Hollis by a river or something, and there was some kind of snowcats, like jaguars or something.
Oh yeah, I remember those.
And they're like, "Okay, run in there and hit your taunt ability." And I'm like, "Taunt? That's dumb. It doesn't do anything." And they're like, "Just run in and taunt." I run in and taunt. This thing follows me back out. And I'm like, "Whoa, okay, cool." You know, whatever. It didn't click right away that taunt was what made it, you know, stick on me. Like, I thought, I can just run up to it and not press any buttons and pull this thing back with me. Not a good idea. Healer wasn't too happy with that one. But, you know, I kept going in, and then, like, all of a sudden I realized, now I understand what taunt does. Now I understand what my job is. I like this. Like, it was like, I take the beating while mocking this thing or whatever, and, you know, everybody else kills it. And it sounds really shitty now that I think about it and say it out loud. It sounds like a terrible job, actually. But glutton for punishment, I liked it. That was my thing.
You know, I really did enjoy tanking, and you could tell me the truth here. I thought that I became a pretty good tank. I mean, my character's stats weren't always the best, but I think
I'd be lying if I said I remember you tanking for me.
I tanked for you a few times because we did that Kappas and you were on Metreon.
That's what I was going to say. I must have been playing the mage. But honestly,
I don't know. Maybe if you don't remember, you don't remember. But if anyone else remembers me tanking for them on Kenobi, let me know what you think. Was I a good tank? I thought I did a pretty good job. I was always constantly on the lookout for ads. So, you know, I was spinning the camera around depending on what camp you're at. Like, always looking for which ads were coming so that I could make sure I had my taunt ready for this one. You know, and I got pretty good at chain pulling, I think. Where I've already got the next one coming before.
Yeah, that was definitely a good skill to learn too. I mean, I can't really, myself, I can't take any credit for I don't know if I was a good tank. I like to think I am, because I'm a cocky dick. But yeah. No argument. But yeah, man, you know, like, people would give you... you always have the effing naysayers. They're like, dude, you suck, don't do that, blah, blah, blah. And you're just like, dude, calm down. You know, or get another group, I don't care, whatever. Just shut up. But, you know, then you always have the people that are like, hey, you know, check it out, try this. And so you go in and you do it, and they're like, okay, now do it this way. And you do it, and they're like, okay, now keep doing that. And you just pick up things, you know. You had those people that knew. Maybe that wasn't, like, even their thing, you know. Like, this dude's never... had a tank, but he's had so many damage dealers that he's raised up, you know, that he knows what he's doing. He knows what a good tank.
He knows what a good tank looks like. I think that's how I learned a lot of my, a lot of the things that I did tanking was by playing my necromancer and watching the tank. And you know, because you can tell, even if you don't know what a good tank does, you can tell when you have a good tank.
Yeah, definitely.
See, my tank never had awesome stats because as you know, I built my. Well, I built my warrior to go soldier.
Right.
So I had a lot of agility and a lot of dex and a lot of strength. Like, I was split between the four, so it kind of took some of my tanking ability down.
Right. The second time around, I definitely had some guidance. I had Mook. He was, I think everybody, well...
If you were on PPO, you knew who Mook was.
Yeah, you at least saw him around. Odds are he didn't talk to you, because the guy was in a few words. Occasionally an LOL if you were really, really funny. Not often. You know, he was in a big raid guild, and he knew a lot of the better tanks on the server. Maybe, like, I don't want to say best, because I honestly don't know who the best was on the server, but these guys knew their stuff, and Mook, you know, being a necromancer, grouped with them enough to know this is what a raid tank looks like, this is what a raid tank shoots for. Just talking with him, you know, he got enough information, you know, and then he would shoot it back my way. He's like, hey, you know, stamina to this point, these CMs. He even put me in touch with, like, one of their better raid tanks at one point, and that guy helped me out a lot. He sent me an email outside of the game and was like, yo, go to this website, read this, this, and this. These are your primary stats you want to focus on. These are the CMs you want. You know, work on this, work on that. You know, it was a lot of good information. It went a long way. And I think that was one thing that definitely hampered the game. There wasn't a lot of that. Things got too competitive after a while. It was, we want to be the best guild on the server, or, you know, we want to be the best guild on the server, or...
We are the best.
I'm going to train the crap out of you just for shits and grins. Those people, I hated them, and at the same time, loved them. I mean, you gotta... Props to just causing chaos, man. It's a good thing.
This is going to go totally off. But speaking of causing chaos, if you were on Proud Pine Outpost, you knew Jenny.
Yes.
Jenny, was she a druid? I think it was a druid. Or she had Spirit of the Wolf. I know that much. So it was either a druid or a shaman, one of the two. But she was the mother of all trainers. Like,
and it's probably we keep calling her Jenny. It's probably like some 40-year-old dude.
It probably was, but it was the name of the character was Jenny something.
No, Little Miss Jenny.
Was it Little Miss Jenny?
Something like that.
Like L-I-L.
L-I-L. Yeah. MS Jenny.
Yeah.
Something. I could be wrong. I think that was it.
No, it was definitely something like that. And this is another one. I must have spent a ton of time at DFC because I very specifically remember her training my group like 8 times, like every group at DFC. And I just remember people would, if you saw her name,
yeah, you just knew it was coming.
If you saw her name, people would start shouting, "Everyone, look out! Jenny's here!"
Yep.
You know, and so it's just weird how, you know, another community thing where,
hey, if you can't be famous, be infamous.
Right,
you know?
right. So there, I mean, you could definitely be famous on a server for being a total a-hole.
That's true. You definitely could.
Like, and with such a small population, I mean, even from the get-go, the population never was huge.
No.
But you could definitely...
I don't even remember what drew me to Proud Pine. I couldn't tell you why that was the server I picked. I think...
It was probably recommended.
And so, you know what? I was just about to say that. That's, you know, not knowing crap about the game, and all of a sudden, here's this menu saying, hey, pick me. I'm like, you just made my life easy. I'm going to pick you.
Right. Yeah, I only picked Proud Pine because when I first logged on, I asked you, dude, what do I do here? And you were like, oh, go to the last one. Go to Proud Pine.
Yeah.
And then you met me in Hollis.
Good times. Just off the wall story, thinking about Hollis. One day I was up there crafting. Yeah, I was working on my armor smithing. And, you know, you can still see that little chat window in the bottom corner while you get the menus.
You can't talk.
Stuff. And in Say, I see, are you a human? I'm like, what? Pops up again. Are you human? I was, what the fuck is going on, man? So I back out of the menus. There's this dude running around. He's running up to every NPC going, are you human? And he eventually makes his way over to me and asks me. And so instead of saying anything, I said nothing. I just stood there. You know, made him feel bad, I think. And then he ran off, and I just started cracking up.
Story about Raph. I dueled him one time with Kenobi, and I was level 45, and he was level 50. And so he was just sure he was going to stomp me. And I actually beat him in that one duel. He felt like crap afterwards.
Yeah,
I think he thought he had like failed as a tank because he could obviously heal and I couldn't. But
yeah, I remember
him telling me after, he's like, dude, I did not expect you to hit that hard. Because I had pumped my dex and strength for going soldier. Plus I had, I was, at the time I think it was when the the wear quests first came in. And so, remember, we went out and we got them right away.
Yeah.
So like, within like the first couple of weeks of it, we had the wear form. And I was I was a werewolf. So I did a little bit of extra damage on him. I think I may have had bite or something, like the CM bite that did like a bunch of damage. So he just didn't come in ready for, you know, what a warrior was capable of. They had, you know, not built to warrior standards.
Right, yeah. I remember dueling Jaden a number of times in High Pass. And I think by the time everything is said and done, I think we were even up. Like, I know he beat me a bunch. I think I beat him a couple times, though. And I think...
Tank duels are knockdown drag-out. Almost as bad as, like, clerics.
It's... Yeah.
I tried dueling on my warrior one time, like a Shadow Knight.
Yeah, Shadow Knight's consistently kicked my ass.
Oh yeah, I was not prepared because I had already dueled Raph, so I'm like, and I didn't duel much, but I dueled Raph, and I was like, I beat Raph, so I thought I was pretty confident that I could, you know, beat, another similar level warrior or Shadow Knight, and I just got smoked, and it was like, it was just like crazy. I was shocked by how badly I got beaten.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know if he had used his harm touch or something. I don't know if he did or not, but I just got smoked.
Yeah.
No excuses. I just got smoked.
Yeah, exactly. And the same thing every time I tried to duel Nansu. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. The game had its ups and downs. There was, for the most part, good times. There were some days it was just like, I don't even know why I'm doing this. But I think ultimately, you know, the last nail in the coffin for me was spending so much time helping other people, and then there was no reciprocation. It was like,
it did become that at a point. It became, I think when we first started,
I mean,
there was a lot of people that just wanted to experience the game, and like they were willing to help with anything.
Right, yeah, and I'm not even talking about like that kind of lower level stuff. I'm like specifically 60 epics. I went out of my way to help so many people with that, and man, I had to fight tooth and nail to get help with mine. I never even ended up finishing it. I quit the game because I was just so sick and tired of. I mean, all these people that I helped, man, forget it. Forget even asking them. They were just, no, I'm busy, or or they just wouldn't respond. They'd be like, nope.
Well, I think that came to a point. You know, we didn't have a big guild, so then at some point you went to a different guild.
Yeah, well, that was way before the.
But we didn't have enough people, I think, in the brawlers, to ever really do 60 epics. We were always pulling people from other guilds, like other friends and stuff.
I mean, like somewhat. We got to a pretty good size there for a while towards the end, and
where we were able to do, we did, like you said, A&R. We did just a little bit of POS stuff.
Yeah,
I think we tried our hands at the trials on IOD. I think maybe I'm thinking of Immortal Spirits, but I did a lot later on. I think we tried it once and we failed, and I don't think we ever went back because we just wiped. It was like there's no way we're gonna get it.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. That's just. I mean, I don't know. I think that's what killed the game for me. That was my last straw. And then I quit playing for a while. I came back for like a week, and I saw Jaden. Shot the shit with him, and tried to play a little bit. Got a little bit of help with a 60 epic from an old guildie. But yeah, then it just started up again. Everything got stale, and I quit again. And then shortly thereafter, ZP came out, and I was like, okay, new content. Yeah, I'll definitely come back for that. That lasted not even a week, I don't think. Every time I went to ZP, there was those damn wisp things that were just like
the uncountable
instant death.
Yeah,
and I was like, this. I'm out.
Now, see, I quit and came back a lot. But I always consistently came back, and I'd be back for a long time when I came back.
Yeah.
Until I just kind of, got sick of tanking again. But I was fortunate enough to join a guild. After basically Brawlers was dead, it was just me, essentially. I left and went to Immortal Spirits. And from there, we did a lot of stuff in Immortal Spirits that you never got to do. I did a lot of the POD boss. I think I did basically every boss on Planet Disease. So I got into a good guild that was willing to help, and that actually helped me out because I quit again for a long time, and I came back and PPO was dead. So I went to Castle Lightwolf, and on Castle Lightwolf I met up with a bunch of people that I played with. Everyone knows Dana. So she was a friend of mine from Immortal Spirits as Mrs. Death. So, and then I got in there, and there was Yamis was there, and I think Call on Me was there, but he was on a different character for a while. There's a few more that I just can't even remember the names. But so I got in back with them and was able to do a lot of stuff. They helped me. Then later on came and we were End of Days was the name of the guild, the last guild that I was really in, and they helped me do my 60 epic on my bard. So luckily I found a group of people that was never, it was never really that much trouble getting people to help you do stuff if you asked.
Yeah. So I think 2009 was probably the last time I went back to the game, and you'd con me into going to Castle Lightwolf. I don't remember what the guild was. That might have been it.
It was probably because that's the only one I was in.
Yeah,
so.
but that I only played for about a month, and then life kind of punched me in the sack. Everything just took a wicked 180. It was no bueno. So yeah, I ended up dropping the game again, and that I regret, especially considering how quick I got shut down, or how soon after. I think it was like a year, but still, it would have been nice to.
Could have done some more stuff.
It would have been, it would have been nice to just ride out that last little bit, see some stuff that I hadn't seen. Because all in all, man, it was just a great game. It just had something going for it. I can't put my finger on it. I can name lots of little things, but there was just something overall that it had that no game has had since, and it's.
There's a little bit of I think this game popped my MMO cherry.
There's that too,
going on because, from now, every game after that I judge by EQOA. Vanguard I kind of judge by EQOA, but for me, Vanguard passed the test with the exception of it being so buggy. The look was great. The graphics were awesome. The look of the characters and stuff was reminiscent of EQOA, but at a higher level.
Yeah.
It wasn't cartoony like WoW is. So I really liked that, but it was just too buggy. And I judge every game by EQA was relatively bug free.
Yeah, for the most part. I don't remember
you could glitch some stuff, but there wasn't game breaking glitches.
Yeah.
You'd get a black screen of death every once in a while, running from DM to
I was just gonna say that, yeah. That freaking spot in the river, man, every time.
But other than that, I think the game. I think that's the biggest thing for me. Is just, it was my first experience, and I don't think a game is going to match it.
Yeah,
it's going to have to be pretty epic.
Yeah, and then the other problem with that is that being the first MMO. You get the itch. You're like, even if you quit that game, you hate it. You don't want to play it anymore. You get that bug. You're like, man, I need an MMO. It's I don't want to play Mario Kart. I don't want to play God of War or whatever fucking shit you're into.
GTA 5 can only get me so far.
Exactly. Yeah. You can find something to bide your time, but there's always that little that itch under the skin. You're like, man.
Oh yeah.
It's bad.
Yeah. I definitely, and I feel that especially during the fall.
Yeah.
The fall and winter.
Fall and winter. Because that's when I started playing. It was shortly before Christmas.
And mine was shortly after Christmas.
Yeah.
03.
Yep.
I remember one time I looked at my account information. It showed my first transaction payment. It was December 28th, 2003.
Nice.
It was literally just after Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So this time of year is definitely it's my EQOA time. So that's why I don't have EQOA to play. So I started doing this. And I think I found there are other people out there, people that for some strange reason want to sit and watch me talk about EQOA, even though I only made one video where I sit and talk about it, but two now. But so I think other people enjoy it. I got comments, so
right.
It's worth for the 15 subscribers that I have.
Yeah, 15 of you are enjoying the hell out of this video.
Right.
I hope. Actually, probably like 2 of you are like, and the rest of you are like,
well, they just keep talking, don't they? But I think we come to a good stopping point now.
I think so too.
So, signing off then is I'm Rec.
I'm Dropkick.
And we're out. Deuces.